Okay, so I am making a video on how to download images from Google or wherever you'd like to get your images from and convert them into bitmaps to get them onto your MoodHoop designer. So what I would recommend is downloading this application called GIMP, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this through a Mac computer because there's really no way to save a bitmap on a Mac because we don't have Paint, we don't have Microsoft. So GIMP is kind of like Photoshop / Paint. So I'm going to show you guys how to go ahead and convert a picture from a JPEG or whatever it is into the bitmap so that you can have the pattern on your hoop. Okay, so I've already preloaded just some, I'm doing a mermaid theme, so I just preloaded some mermaid theme JPEGs from Google. So what I'm going to do now is through my GIMP application, I'm going to go to File, Open. Let's find where those pictures are. So they are in my downloads. So I'm just going to pick, I already did that one, so I'm just going to pick the next one, which is just a plain old seashell. And we're going to open it. Okay? So, for pictures, first of all, that have a white background, we want to make that black. Otherwise, your hoop will be bright white with the seashell. So, if we just wanted to just see the seashell, we're going to turn all of the white parts black. By doing that, we are going to go ahead and click this little magic wand with a star. Okay? I'm just going to click on the white background, and if you look closely, it like kind of is like dotted and moving, meaning I've selected that whole white area. What I'm going to do next, since I've selected the area, is I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to go to Paint Tools and Bucket Fill. So I'm just going to fill this whole area black. Boom. All right, go back to my magic wand so I can do all the other sections. I don't want to forget about that little white part at the bottom. There we go. All right, so now I have a nice black background, so just the shell should show up as my pattern in my hoop. But we are not done yet. So once we've created our image, we're now going to resize the image. By doing this, we're going to go to Image at the top toolbar and Scale Image. So my LED hoop has 162 LEDs inside of it. So I don't want, so see how my width is 800? It's going to like completely, it's going to cut off my shell. So I want to make my width at least 162. That will get the whole shell. But because our hoop is spinning, we want to maybe resize it into halves or a third. That way when you're spinning, you'll get like 3 shells as a rotation, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna resize this to 54, which is a third of the number of LEDs in my hoop. And we're gonna scale. And now it's super, super tiny. You can't see the colors, but the colors are still there. So now that we've resized it, now we have to save it as a bitmap. Because your designer hoop will only read bitmaps. So the way we do this is we're gonna go to File. We are not gonna go to Save or Save As, but we're gonna go to export as. Okay? You have to rename your pattern or it will not show up on your hoop. Maybe that's not your case, but that was my case. So I have to rename it. We're just gonna name it Rainbow Shell. But see how it is trying to save it as a JPEG? If we go down here where it says select file type, you can choose to save it as any of these, but we want a bitmap, so we want BMP. And there it is. And now we're gonna export. Now it's gonna ask you, do you want to export image as bitmap? Before we hit export again, we're gonna go to advanced options and make sure that it is clicked on 24 bits RGB. If it is, we're gonna just go ahead and export, and it should have saved to wherever I had it saved at. I believe it was in my downloads, so let's go ahead, check my downloads, and there it is, the rainbow shell. And it does look kind of blurry, but that's because it is pixel by pixel, but you know, from far away, if I'm spinning my hoop, you'll get the gist of it. So let's go ahead and load it into my hoop and we will see how it looks. Load the pattern on your hoop. Simply plug your cord into your computer and make sure your hula hoop is off. Hoop off, and we're gonna plug it into the other side. It should light up. Perfect. Okay, and a little MoodHoops box should pop up. There it is. We're gonna click on that. And here are actually all of my modes. So inside FutureHoop is all the FutureHoop patterns. Oop. And so inside favorites are all my favorites that I picked. You get the gist. So files are modes, and inside the files are bitmaps, which are our patterns. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this one so we could just see the one that I made. So we, you know, you're not looking at a whole bunch. Open up your MoodHoop box. There we go. All right. And inside Mermaid, I am just gonna go ahead and drag and drop this bitmap. Okay. So now my pattern is in there. All right, and before I unplug my hoop from my computer, I'm going to right click and safely eject my hoop. Once that's gone, we can unplug our hoop. And let's see how the shell looks. Mermaid! There's our clam that we just made. And let's see if maybe I can get a better. My hoop is super bright. If I hold my hoop or my camera while knee hooping and see if we can see the pattern that way. So that is it. That is all there is to loading your patterns on your FutureHoop MoodHoops designer. And I basically pretty much made this video for myself, so I always remember how to do it. But I also wanted to make it for anyone else who had a MoodHoops FutureHoop designer, because I had to put a bunch of logos on it yesterday for a gig, and I was like up for like 5 hours trying to figure it out, and I could not figure it out. I actually had to send them to somebody else to make them for me. So hopefully this video helped you guys, and yeah, have fun with your MoodHoops.